How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the first Wednesday evening encore of 2025. Welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about your brand is doomed in the next 90 days, unless that's what we're talking about. Hope everyone are doing well. Thank you for your patience as we get chimed in. This is the very first Wednesday evening encore in 2025. So we're going to kick this thing off right. Thank you for joining in. Hope everyone are doing well. We're going to talk about it. It's been an interesting day, hasn't it? It's been an interesting day already. You know, it started off very interesting, especially here in the U.S. You know, things going on across the globe, but especially here in the U.S. It's an interesting day, you know, already. Our condolences go out to those who have lost loved ones during the catastrophic occurrences, and we pray that they have comfort, you know, and peace, you know, during this particular time period. And so we want to start off with that. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate you. You know, we kicked off Wednesday evening encore almost 3 months ago now, and so we are going to. We've gotten really good feedback from everyone to continue this thing going. And I appreciate you very much for chiming in. A little bit. What's been going on with you? Put it into the chat. How has 2025 kicked off for you? What are your plans? Those entrepreneurs, you know, what are your plans? You professionals who have the entrepreneur mindset, what are your plans? My lady entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, what are your plans? You know, as well, what are your plans? You know, how you plan on rocking out, how you plan on shifting, and in particular, so the title of this particular Wednesday evening encore is "Your Brand is Doomed in 90 Days Unless You Do This." Your brand is doomed in 90 days unless you do this. This is the topic for the Wednesday evening encore. To introduce myself, my name is Christopher D. Thomas. And once again, good evening, entrepreneurs and change makers. Welcome back to Wednesday Evening Encore. I'm your host, Christopher D. Thomas. And tonight's session is critical for any business owner who feels like their brand might be on shaky ground. We're diving into your brand is doomed in 90 days unless you do this. Before we unpack all of this lifesaver of a topic, you know, make sure that you follow, share, save, turn on your notifications. Tonight's insight could be that turnaround strategy for your business needs, for your personal brand needs, for those of you who are creating brands, not to just survive, but to thrive. So we're going to, you know, discover, transform, create success right now. So it's storytelling time. You know, we always start off with a storytelling time. So we consulted with a tech company not too long ago. For the sake of this particular video, I'm going to call this particular tech company OTech. And if it happens to be the name of a company that's out there, is no intention at all. It's just simply a name that I'm going to give it for the sake of this particular video, because there were some intellectual property things that we signed on to, and we do respect that, and we treat all of our clients very information, very private, as well. So for the sake of this particular video, I'm going to call the company O-Tech. O-Tech was a once thriving tech startup specializing in data security. And just a year ago, they were, on the brink of closing down. Sales plummeted, staff morale was low, and their market share was being nibbled at by competitors. Why? Because they stopped being innovative. They became complacent. They were resting in their past successes. The leadership team was in denial about the severity of the situation. And until they realized they were about 90 days from running out of cash. So I was brought in to help to consult, to help to turn some things around. And our first question, to them was, what are you willing to change to save your company? What are you willing to change to save your company? That's when, we started the hard but necessary process of realigning their brand, their market needs, revamping their approach from the ground up. So let's take a look at the problem. Not only the problem with this particular company, but the problem with many companies that we work with, have studied, have researched. Many brands find themselves in a downward spiral because they fail to adapt to a changing market conditions. They fail to adapt to the changing of the customer preferences. They fail to adapt to technological advancements. They become stagnant in their business, like quicksand. And we all know the consequences of quicksand. It's subtle, but it's deadly. So imagine your business. Imagine your brand, your dream slowly slipping away because you missed the signs or you were too slow to adapt. We're not just talking about, losing profits. We're talking about potentially losing everything that you've worked for. Everything that you've worked there. So without urgent and strategic action, recovery might be impossible. How do you solve it? Well, the key to avoiding this dire fate is to continuously to be innovative, stay closely to connected to your customer base, discover new opportunities for growth, transform offerings into to align within the current brands, current demands, and create a plan about how to reinvigorate your brand. And many times you may hear us using the term to reinvent. Actually, that's the tagline for our marketing agency in MM Group, the Reinvent Company. It's about making calculated, bold moves to ensure that your brand not only survives, but it stands out. So that's the goal. So, that we're going to keep with the ritual, the tradition. I always give some actionable strategies that you can implement into your brand. I'm going to give you, I think I have five. I have 5 actionable strategies that you can turn your brand around in 90 days, So consider implementing some of these critical strategies. One is a customer feedback loop. This is so that a customer feedback loop is great because this will help you to have establish direct communication channels. You'll be able to gather and analyze your data, feedback, and understand the customer needs and expectations. Number two, innovate your product and your service. Can you introduce some new features, some new services, or some products based on, some of the data that you have collected from that feedback loop? This will help you to ensure that you're directly solving your customers' current needs because their needs are changing. We're in a whole new year, 2025. Your customers' needs coming up this year are not going to be what their needs were last year. And how are you going to know those needs? By keeping in contact with them, And I was talking to an associate today. She has a massive social media following, social media group with members that are all over the country. I want to say she's somewhere around about 500,000 members, and they are very engaging. And we talked today, and we host a networking event called Network and Chill in a few different cities, within the U.S. And she wanted to be a part, of these networking events. And actually, no, she wanted to attend the networking events, and I encouraged her to perhaps to become a sponsor of the networking events. And because I shared with her that even though we know that digital is very important, digital marketing is very important, right? However, what we also know that digital marketing has become very busy. Everyone has access. If they have internet and a semi-smart device or a laptop, they can start a podcast. They can go live like we're doing now. They could start a YouTube channel, as well. Everyone has access to social media. So what we do know is that the digital space, even though it's important, I'm not saying it's not important. That's not the purpose. What I am saying is that it is very busy. So how are you going to stand out? And what we're seeing is that people still love that in person. People still love and desire that in-person touch. So, I was encouraging her that even though everything that she's doing is digital, to be able to curate something or to sponsor something that has already been curated and that knows it's been successful, that you become a part of it and to be a sponsor of it or to participate in it in some form or fashion. So I encourage all of you, even though digital, social, podcasts, videos, streaming, all of that is incredibly important. You must have it. It's also becoming very busy. So you're going to have to look for ways in order to complement those things, that you're doing from a marketing perspective. Third actionable strategy is to revamp your marketing. Realign your marketing strategies to highlight those innovations and those changes. Communication. Make sure that your communication is clear, is effective about how you are adapting and improving. 4, streamline those operations. Cut down on any processes or products that don't contribute to your new strategic goal. This will help you to be able to conserve resources, using those resources wisely, and to focus on what truly matters. we actually did some shifting and scaling ourselves. And one way that we did that coming out of starting in 2024 to prepare for 2025 is that our email marketing systems, that we had been using, after taking a look at some other areas and some ways that we can do some things, we decided to stop or conclude or end our contract with one email marketing system and to start it with another one. And so streamlining our operation is incredibly important. And number 5, boost morale and engage your team. Your team's motivation can make or break your turnaround efforts. So, keep them engaged, and informed about the changes and how they can contribute to the success. So, in review, we have 5 actionable strategies that I just provided for you. 1, customer feedback loop. 2, innovate your products and service. 3, revamp your marketing. 4, streamline operations. And number 5, boost morale and engage your team. So, as you consider these strategies, think about your own business. Think about your own brands, right? Whether if you are a startup, mom and pop, you've been in business for a while, you're a solopreneur, you're a new brand, maybe you have an entrepreneur mindset, and you're a director or a VP for a corporation. You could be a school teacher. You could be an insurance agent who runs an independent agency. No matter how large or not so large that you may consider your brand to be, do not ignore any of these, because these strategies that I just gave you, you'll be able to use them in your own personal brand. So think about your own business. Think about your own brands. Are there some warning signs that you might be ignoring? So if you're feeling, overwhelmed or unsure where to start, remember, I'm here for you. Our team is here for you. Remember that I also offer personal consultations to help you to devise a clear and actionable plan. And together we can transform your crisis into an opportunity. So back to the story about O-Tech. So back to O-Tech. Within 90 days of implementing the changes we made for O-Tech, they saw a complete transformation. Now, it was work. It was a lot of work on our end, our team, and also on their end. But they were dedicated and they wanted to see this thing go because they had invested a lot into it and a lot was on the line. Customer engagement doubled. Product enhancements received positive media feedback and coverage. And most importantly, their revenue began to climb. So they didn't just survive, they came back stronger and more resilient. So now I challenge you to pick out, select that one area mentioned today and start improving on it. Don't wait until your brand is in jeopardy. Create that success now by taking the proactive steps to rejuvenate your brand. For more resources or to schedule a session with me, simply visit our website, send me a DM if you like, and we can get that going. Let's ensure that your brand not only survives, but it becomes a leader in its field. I'm going to repeat that. We're going to ensure that your brand survives, not only survives, but becomes a leader, in its field. So don't miss next week's session. We have another wonderful topic. The topic is stop burning your cash. Zero budget marketing that defies gravity. That's going to be our topic for next Wednesday. Stop burning your cash. Zero Budget Marketing That Defies Gravity. We'll explore some powerful strategies to market your business, market your brands effectively without breaking the bank. It's perfect for any business looking to maximize the impact with a minimum investment. So remember to follow, share, save, turn on notifications to stay updated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. And, I appreciate it. And I'm actually this is the last day of a 3-day fast for me. And it's actually been an interesting experience. I feel good. When I say fast, it was totally no food. Water was in my diet, and also broth. So the night before, I did a broth, and it consisted of organic ginger, onion, garlic, mushroom, lemon peels, and let's see, turmeric. One day I added kale to it. And did I miss anything? That was for the most part, majorly all of the ingredients, of the broth, and cooked it and poured off the broth, and had made 3 quarts. So I drank 3 quarts a day, of that broth. So it was good. It was good. And so I feel good. My breathing has been really good as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome, and I'll keep everyone up to date as far as the outcome of my fast. This is the first time that I have ever intentionally fasted. Other times that I fasted, it was unintentional due to perhaps, being, not feeling well and simply not having an appetite, so I was kind of forced to fast. And I've done a 1-day fast, type of a thing. And that was unintentional. It was mainly because of, working so much, being so busy, and almost forgetting to eat, which is very unhealthy to do. But this was intentional. So I actually planned this out so I could still get the nutrients that I need as well. So I feel great. My breathing is great. My thinking is wonderful. It takes a lot of discipline to be able to do something, like this. And so those of you who have done fasting before, I applaud you who've done it intentionally. I applaud you. There's some who have fasted, 7 days. And then, and then some from a religious standpoint will be restarting to fast. I have some buddies of mine who are of Muslim religion. And so they'll be starting Ramadan coming up soon in the next few weeks. So I know they'll be fasting, as well. But I think they fast during the day, and then they have a short time in the evening where they can have some type of sustenance. But it's a certain type of food and intake that they can eat in the evening times to break fast for those few hours. So I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for joining me. Remember, the fate of your brand is in your hands. So be bold, be proactive, and be ready to make the changes needed to thrive. We're not talking about surviving. We're talking about thriving. All right. So share your thoughts, your questions, your comments in the comment section, and let's keep pushing the boundaries together. So until next time, keep evolving, keep innovating, and keep leading your brand into new heights. So until next time, thank you for joining. Good night.